Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Arizona Sports. The local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
Memorial Day weekend is a special time for Major League Baseball. It's when the sport graduates into summer. It's a traditional milepost when the tone gets a little more serious, where no one says it's early anymore. It's like a midterm grade 1/3 of the way into the season. And without question and without further delay, it is time for our baseball team to get special. It's important politically, as the team is still trying to get their stadium deal through the Arizona legislature. It's important financially, as this team needs to get back to the postseason to validate their payroll and their belief in the core group and the direction of the team. And it's important spiritually, because we know how dreadful summers in Arizona can be, where we loathe more than we live, where we become artificially cooled and extremely disconnected, and because it's a long ways away from football season. The Diamondbacks need to declare their intentions. They need to provide that organic spark that spreads throughout the valley, and that will not happen if this team continues to helicopter over a 500 record. They need to create magical moments, not be victims of them, and starting this weekend, they need to write their own fairy tale and not be the villain in someone else's. All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW, who make luxury attainable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com.
I think it is the bullpen. I think they need to put it on themselves, and they're going to throw out, Beeks kind of got back on track, but they're going to throw Thompson in there. He needs to be effective. He's got to figure out either how to sequence his pitches or just make better pitches, because they're going to rely on him. They can't count on the starters to consistently go 6-7 innings. You're going to have those 4 or 5 start, especially with Ryan Nelson starting. They're probably going to cap him for a couple starts till he gets built up. So they're going to need the bullpen to come through. And you watch how the offense, guys are starting to swing it a lot better. Gurriel, Moreno have started heating up in May. The starting pitching is starting to figure it out. But between that, and then I think what Luke said right away, Zach Gallen, they need him to be good. He needs to not be a spot in the rotation where all of a sudden you don't know what you're getting out of him. He needs to fill in with what the rest of the guys are doing.
Yeah, it's Josh Colmenter on with Wolf and Luke yesterday. Who needs to step up over the next 50 games or so? And I think Josh hit the nail on the head. He didn't say Gallen first, but let's start there, because this is a gigantic start for Zach Gallen.
Sure.
How many times have we sasaid that this year?
No, quite a lot.
He's coming off back-to-back pretty bad starts where he's given up 10 earned runs in his last 2 starts, including the last time out, that wild game against Colorado. He's got to step it up. The bullpen, it is time for elevation from the bullpen. And yeah, you can lean on the fact that they haven't been fully healthy, that they don't have A.J. Puck, and Justin Martinez just coming back this weekend. But this bullpen is better than a 5.28 ERA.
Yeah,
it's better than 27th in Major League Baseball. When you look at the teams with the best bullpens, San Francisco's bullpen ERA right now is 2.66. That is a canyon of difference between effective bullpen play and non-effective bullpen production like the Diamondbacks have got. So it's on those two, Gallen especially tonight, but make it easy on the bullpen in the first game of a series, and then give Torey Lovullo a little bit of flexibility with how he uses it. The Ryan Thompson situation is concerning, because it's gotten to the point now where Gambo's putting on his chauffeur's hat for Ryan Thompson. That usually doesn't work out very well.
Has he done that?
And he's getting some support for it, too.
Tweeted out a picture of him in the
Ryan Thompson, your driver is here.
Wow.
And for a guy who, and we've seen the best, the very best, and now the very worst of Ryan Thompson, the truth is somewhere in the middle. Got to get closer to the middle.
So to me, Zach, I think you highlighted a lot of the stuff that has to happen now from this point going forward. Zach Gallen has got to go back to being worthy of the dude who was given the ball on opening day, who has continued to be called an ace by his manager. The bullpen, it's got to materialize. From that day in Wrigley when the bullpen came in and gave up 8 runs, blowing what would have been an incredible victory, to the fact that A.J. Puck was gone the very next day, the bullpen hasn't been the same. They've been prone to blow-ups and letdowns and blown saves. They need to get that together. And then the lineup, they've got to get back to finding some sort of identity on the daily, that this is what we do every single game, every single inning. And per the Blast, they need to speak to us in a good way. We all know the summer condition here. If we don't have a baseball team worth cheering for, it's a desolate, bad place to be for a couple of months. We need this baseball team to spark our imaginations. And they've come close, and they're still above 500, and they're a good team, but they need to morph into something bigger and better. Injuries, no more alibis. You got to get it done. And so I'm hoping this weekend is going to be one of those weekends. I am hoping the vibe in St. Louis, the best baseball town in America, maybe Boston, maybe Chicago, but St. Louis is fantastic. St. Louis is the only city in America where baseball is bigger than football.
It is at least traditionally fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know the last couple of years if they've had the fan support they usually do.
Well, I mean, they've had some rough teams, but they can always, even in those times, Jarrett, they can lean on the fact that St. Louis Cardinals fans invented the game of baseball. Just ask them. They'll tell you.
But I said this before, the Diamondbacks tend to be adrenaline junkies. They rise to the moment if they're in hostile environments. I'm really hoping that this is a launching pad kind of weekend because they need it. Yeah, they really need it.
If you're looking at, and it's early still, it's not Memorial Day yet, but if you're looking at that National League wild card, I mean, you got 3 games against the team that you're competing with. The St. Louis Cardinals are better than people expected. Whether or not they can maintain it remains to be seen, but throw a wrench in their plans. Make them doubt themselves this weekend. That should be the goal. You also talked about the Blast, and you made reference to the stadium issue, which is still up in the air. And we had Derek Hall on yesterday. And, coming out of the interview that Mike Broomhead had with Danny Seiden, the president of the Arizona Chamber of Commerce, where he said some things that I think made people nervous, mentioning the Salt Lake Cities and Oregon are very aggressive in their pursuits of Major League Baseball. Derek Hall came on yesterday, clarified the situation, also gave us an update on where the progress of that bill is right now.
I do believe we're on their 5-yard line.
Okay,
so,
good.
I'm still very hopeful. I think things are going well. There are some people that, have tried to make it more complicated, have tried to get in between the flow and the momentum we've had, but that's okay. There's too many people that want to make this happen. They understand the importance of it. And when someone like Danny Seiden goes public with such a statement, I think obviously it's just coming from the heart. It's a fresh wound when we lost our hockey team. No one wants to lose another team. There has not been a threat of that. I think he's just merely pointing to how many markets do want baseball because, it's a point of pride to have in your community and number of jobs you create and what it does for the economy and economic impact. So that's really where he was going. But obviously our focus is squarely on getting this deal done, staying right where we are downtown and start to beautify and renovate that stadium that needs it so desperately.
And Derek remains optimistic, still sticking with that 5-yard line terminology that he used. But I found it interesting, too. It's like some people are trying to get in the way of the progress that's being made. I wonder who those people are.
Well, I think maybe the mayor, she's been very vocally not supportive of this measure. And once again, it's become pretty clear to me the mayor's not a huge sports fan, and that worries me. It worries me because, I've been talking about this Jerry Colangelo statue for months, if not years, but I'm in the mode where we need to get better as a sports town. And we need to better honor our heroes. We need to pour more of our soul and our emotional capital into this sports town. We need to grow as a sports town, not subtract. And we've seen this happen, and this is the fear. Even though Derek Hall did not sound at all fearful, what happens is if people continue to get in the way of this, then you start thinking, okay, what are our options? If things go bad here, what are we really going to do? Then you start sniffing around, and then you run into some dude from, name the town, from Vegas or wherever, who says, hey, listen, I've got the full support of our legislature out here. We want a baseball team so bad. You tell me what you want. What's important to you? And then you start to go, wow, somebody out there is really willing to do this, and this, and this, and this for us. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly the grass does look greener elsewhere.
Yeah, it does. Now, we're not quite in the situation that Cleveland sports fans are in. Did you hear what their mayor said? Justin Bibb this week?
No.
When asked about the Browns, there are more important priorities than the Cleveland Browns in terms of their future. And look, he's right. But nobody wants to hear that.
No.
Because what Derek Hall said is right. Sports franchises, even the Browns, can be a point of pride for a community.
Yeah, and that's, again, this is why we need the Diamondbacks to be that team, because when you get that team in your community and you realize, wow, sports really does matter. Sports really does unify. Sports really does galvanize, and it does all the things that we in a divided country need so badly, probably more than ever.
Yeah. It's true.
Yep.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.